Hey everybody, we're live and I'm
Mm,
here with Kimberly with Peace Meds and I'm here with my friend Andrea and she
Hi.
and I, hey honey, how are you doing?
Good. Great. Thank you.
She and I get to have a lot of beautiful conversations one-on-one and she just has some very interesting insight and knowledge. Now I'm going to give that disclaimer, she's not a financial advisor and this is for entertainment only, okay? um, She owns a finance company, and we've had lots of interesting discussions over this last year of what's going on. And I am just going to back up and let you speak for a while.
Okay. Oh, wow. So a lot has gone on in the last year, ups and downs, roller coasters. So I guess been the uneasiness in the market, not knowing what was going to happen in my profession as a residential lender. When everything hit, it was the uncertainty, what was going to happen, but everything actually improved. People were just as willing to get into the market, and rates were dropping, and um, people were just as comfortable moving forward and everything.
Well,
So,
I'm gonna ask you with the rates dropping, okay?
mhm.
Have we seen the lowest that we're going to see on the rates? When do you think they're going to start picking back up? What's your
um,
gut feeling on that?
yeah. So we have been the lowest it's ever been.
Yeah.
And over the last week, it's actually starting to creep back up. So
Okay.
I would
Yeah.
say already that bottom has been hit. There is talks that I've heard that they're going to go with negative interest rate, which basically will pull it back down, but we're in a negative inflation, which is not good to sustain at.
Mhm.
But it would help push those rates back down. Again, I mean, they're still phenomenal. They're still in the threes, if not low
Well,
threes. So I mean,
that's unbelievable.
it's still great.
When I got my second home loan, and I had good credit,
Hmm.
and I want to say it was 5.5%,
Which is
and
still was great.
yeah, which was
Hmm.
unbelievable. And
Yeah.
we hear these rates today. So, are a lot of new people getting into the housing market with these rates?
Oh, yes. I mean, everywhere across the country, all my people that are, and I connect all across the country. I mean, it's a seller's market. It's completely a seller's market, which means if you're a seller, I mean, it's great because there's more buyers than sellers. So that's basically what that means. But that's also helping stimulate jobs because the buildings are, new construction's going up. I've got a ton of new home buyers that are flooding in. So there's still a lot of confidence in the market and there's a lot of confidence in buying. So people ask, is it a good time? Housing prices are going up, lumber's going up, rates are low. If
Copper's
you
going
take,
up.
yeah, everything's going up. So as we progress forward for the same house, it could be $10,000 more. And if rates go up, you're spending a lot more. So again, a lot of people ask, do I need to save for a lot of extra down payment? The answer is not, you don't.
Right.
Because by the time you catch up for that down payment that you want to have, the house price has gone up, the rates have gone up. So you're kind of chasing your tail.
Yeah.
I think we are going to probably stay low. Again, this last week was a reaction to the market. So a lot of times rates are completely tied into the bond market and into what's going on in the economy. So those kind of work hand to hand. So when you see a reaction in something happening, I know we've all had crazy weather and stuff going on. So those are all reactionary stuff. So it does push the rates and it kind of reacts to it. Like anything, it breathes and it's cyclical.
Right.
But we have had a pretty tough week, I would say, when it comes to rates. There was lots of reaction. Um, so we've lost a little bit, but again, we're still three and a quarter. I mean, for a 30-year
And
fixed. I mean, which is
that's
still
insane.
wonderful.
That's
Yeah,
insane.
yeah.
Now, are they trending differently with the loans now? Are loans changing a little? Are you starting to see a change in the way lending is happening?
Again, through this last year, they were prior to this last year, I've noticed investors and banks were getting looser again. So, which
Mhm.
caused some of our problems back in '08 when everything crashed. So
Right,
they
right.
were being more, giving more alternative loans, and they pulled all of that back. So they're, I would say overall, as in lending, they've just gone across the board, traditional financing, but there's also a lot of programs for first-time home buyers. Um, Even with credit score, if you're a low 6, you could still get into a home. So they are forgiving, and I would
That's
say,
amazing. That's
yeah,
amazing. And I'm
yeah,
just going to say this for the people that are listening. If y'all have a low credit score, I've got a friend that helps people with their credit score,
mm,
and I'm going to bring him on shortly so that we can start talking about things y'all can do while you're at home
oh, that's
to change.
perfect.
Yeah, because the credit score is everything.
Hmm.
People don't realize how important the credit score is.
Oh, absolutely. And the credit score, I mean, and I don't know, a lot of people aren't aware. I mean, it's not just when you purchase. So now employers are pulling your credit score.
Right,
When you get your car insurance, your homeowner's insurance, 50% of the premium that I'm hearing from my agents is based on credit score.
right.
So everything revolves around that score.
I know. And so he really has been an angel helping people, and there are things you can do at home. And so, with fixing your credit score pretty fast and then getting in on these rates, and as you brought up, and I hadn't even thought about this, but lumber is skyrocketing
Hmm. Yeah.
and copper is skyrocketing. And then
Hmm.
if gas goes up, that means everything at your local Lowe's is fixing to be 10%, 20% more
Hmm.
expensive.
Yep. And because of the this last year, them having a harder time getting supplies, it's then that's caused a supply and demand. So then they can,
Right.
it's because there is less supplies, then that
Yeah.
price is
Goes
going up
up.
as well. So
Well, and
as
then that
simple as
slows
your
up.
light fixtures and stuff like that. I mean,
That
it's
slows
all.
up building, that slows up everything.
Hmm.
All of progress is slowed up. I know in my personal, I just make products
Yeah.
and I have a few products that I am dangerously low in stock because I
Hmm.
can't get the bottles or I can't get
Yep.
the sprayers or I can't get part of the base.
Yep.
And this has been insane this year with supply and demand.
Yep.
You just wouldn't think having to wear a mask would slow everything up.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that indicates to me something way bigger is going on.
Oh, absolutely. There's so much behind the scenes that I don't think you or I have any inkling, but there's a bigger agenda,
Mhm.
just with different things. But as far as the financing, I mean, money's flowing. Real estate agents, lenders have had record years. I mean, it was. I have been grinding hard since March. When everybody was shutting down, I was picking up faster and faster, trying to help people, getting them in
Mm.
homes. So there was still a lot of confidence through everything, and business did continue on, which was great because that did keep certain industries going and
Right,
not completely shut down.
right, which is good because
Hmm.
our
Yeah,
economy needs to continue. And I
yeah.
imagine as more and more people leave these big cities, uh, the middle of America flyover, I guess we'd say,
Mm.
the housing market is going to be a seller's market more and more and more every
Oh,
day.
absolutely. And where I'm located, there's still a lot of land to build, but they
Mhm.
can't get them up fast enough,
Wow.
because there's just, again, supply and demand. But I mean, it's just, I mean, which is awesome again, but it is definitely, it's been fun. It's been fun to watch how everybody's pulled together and
Yeah,
just continue to do business, and everybody just adapted. And
yeah.
that's in my area, from agents to title companies to homeowners insurance. I mean, everybody just has been great on adapting with the change to help keep everybody moving.
Everything going. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so crypto.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm a crypto noob. I know nothing about crypto. I have backed away from crypto
Hmm.
because I just think it's backed by nothing. But I know
Yeah,
you're a pretty heavy player in crypto, right?
I am. I am. So there's this is a huge. subject, and it's a hot topic, and it
Right.
was on Super Bowl. I mean, it was everywhere. I mean, it's the talk of everything. There's As we progress in our technologies, I mean, everything is speed of light, is quick, is fast. And so let's go back to the lending. So when something happens, we do a wire. The wire has to go to the Federal Exchange. It goes to a central bank to, I mean, it's going through all these processes to hit, and it takes 4 hours, a day, 3 days, and it's not quick. So that's kind of what's being created, is a way to move things at the
Fast.
speed of light. And
Fast.
that's where crypto comes in. And so obviously the news is, what's out there. Bitcoin is just off the chain. I mean, who can afford 54,000 a
Right.
coin?
But they
Um,
are. People are buying them.
they are. Oh yeah. I mean, billions. I mean,
Yes.
but um, because of that, there's a lot of alternative coins. That is an option. So again, like anything, do your homework, do your research, but it is something that is definitely moving and shaking. And at some level, we're going to have something come in. I can't tell you which coin, but it is the wave of the future. I see it from my end, and how
Mhm.
everything's starting to transition, and the movement of stuff. I mean, a lot of times we're not touching physical cash. It's just money's moving through wires.
Right.
So,
Now, do you
mhm.
think this is coming with the new financial system they're talking about?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's hand in hand for sure.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
There's a coin that I just have a gut feeling about that I want to
Hmm.
buy. All right. And I, I can't figure out how to buy it.
Which one?
There, it's Digibyte.
Okay, I've heard of it. Okay,
Yeah, and
I
so
haven't gotten that one.
I've gotten on a few crypto buying websites, and
Hmm.
it's not there. And then the one I found that it is there, for some reason I can't get it to connect with my bank so that I can buy it. And
Some of them you have to buy a certain coin to get to that coin. So
okay,
yeah. So a lot of times you have to buy X coin to get B coin. It,
right,
it I'm still a newbie on that. I haven't gone down that rabbit hole yet.
yeah,
But it is. I mean, I have a lot of younger generation kids, and they're so savvy. It's like second nature, and it's kind of fun to watch, because it is coming at a rapid speed, and it will be part of how we move. But now,
I'm going to break away here for a second,
mhm,
right? Because you're a star seed, and you can go here with me, all right? Isn't
mm,
it interesting the way these kids have come in so plugged in to the system as if
mhm.
they already knew it? Like they are here to usher in our
Oh,
shift into higher consciousness.
oh, 100%. And they're fast, and they are, that's where I'm learning my stuff. I'm going to the 20-year-olds and the 22-year-olds, and they're teaching me, because they're so, when it comes to this, because they're so dialed in. It's amazing. But as even from an energetic standpoint, they are, I've had quite a few that I've tapped in with, and they've I've watched them go from A to Z, when it takes some of us, it took 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, 20 years to get to where they've been in 6 months. But
Yeah,
yet a lot of them have tapped in on
yeah,
all of this, and have just flowing with the change.
right, right.
Mhm.
And yeah, it is very interesting to watch. And when I have a problem with my phone, I just have to hand it to my daughter. And now my
Yeah.
daughter's not here, so if I have a
Mm.
problem with my phone, it's just broken. All
Mm.
right, so you think it's still a good idea to go ahead and get into crypto, that this is only going to go up, up, up? We don't,
Go, and where I've gone is the coins that are just starting. So there's still a ground floor on a lot of what they call alternative coins.
mhm,
So again, those are still, you could still buy them at 10 cents or 20 cents or a
yeah,
dollar. So
right,
they're not
crazy.
54,000. Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. Now,
Yeah.
I've heard some rumors as I listen to other people talk, and they say that Bitcoin's going to bottom out. They see Bitcoin being not the place to go.
How far do you want me to go down the rabbit hole on that one of what I've heard? There's so much. What's been said is they really don't know who created it. It's a name, but they can't really track it to anybody. So that's question number one. So many big corporations are pumping it and have put in billions and billions of dollars just recently in the last month, which obviously will move that up. Like we've seen crazy gains. But at some point, I question if it's not a distraction away from other things. So I'm
Gotcha.
thinking, I think at some, they say it's going to go to 200,000. I don't know about that, but I think it's going to. Today was actually a great example. So yesterday, everything pumped up 30%. It was just every coin, and they're all trending the same. And then today, literally within the course of an hour, 30% down. Everything just crashed.
Hmm.
So it's all trending the same, which is weird. Hmm.
That in itself is odd.
Yeah.
And so, if you can find out, since you're more plugged into this than I am,
Hmm.
who my brothers and sisters on Cirrus B use, which
Mm,
crypto they use,
mm.
that's the one I want to invest in.
Okay.
Because I have a feeling the crypto has more to do with doing off planet transactions than
Oh,
anything.
100%. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that somebody's coming in and they need to refuel or whatever, and we've got them up on the moon.
Hmm.
And so I do believe that that's more what crypto is really about.
Oh, it's the speed of light, and there's some of them, and there's so much to it, and the technology behind it, and that's really understanding what it does. I mean,
That's the
and
bike chain, right?
yeah, right, and exactly. So, I mean, the biggest thing is when you do a transfer, it takes so long and it's costly. So now what's happening is banks are having to readjust their way of doing things because now getting fees, they're going to do a transaction fee. So instead of like the wire fees, it's a 10-cent fee or it's a $5 fee. I mean, it's so
Right.
minimal, but it's done within 3 seconds, and it goes from American dollar to the yen, or I mean, it there's no exchange. It's
Boundaries.
just instant, which is again depending on if we're dealing with different places in the universe and
Right.
different exchange. It's just
Well, see,
dollar for dollar. Yeah, so
even when you
quick.
do PayPal, it has to change it. If I'm buying something from somebody in Canada, it has to change it.
Yeah, but this is like seconds. It would just
Yes.
figure it out.
Boom.
It's absolutely actually mind blowing, but it's genius, honestly. Mhm.
Who takes Bitcoin as payment? I mean,
Oh,
who?
so many places do. I mean, like one of the ones I have, I've got an actual debit card that I can swipe it,
Yeah.
like, and it's money. It just comes out and
Wow.
it converts it. So that all exists. And there's actually a version. It's called Paystring, that is just like PayPal, but it's using crypto. So that all of this stuff is in place. So we are gonna. I think we're gonna. It's was being presented again. Super Bowl, it's trying to build credibility. So we're going to see things transition over for sure. Now there's talks of if they give another stimulus, they're
Yeah.
going to put it on um, crypto.
Now that would be interesting because if they
Hmm.
did that, then they could track every penny.
Hmm. Well, and that's the other thing. There's a ledger, so everything has a ledger. Yep.
Yes,
Hmm.
they could track every penny, and all of a sudden, you're just not discreet anymore.
No, no, and so then that's the other side of it. No,
Yeah.
you've got a ledger. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's
So
interesting.
yeah,
Have they
I don't
figured
know.
out? Have they
You
figured
and I
out?
talked about the hardcore stuff too, which
Yeah.
will segue into that too.
Well, okay. Yeah. All right. So next on the topic, precious metals.
Hmm.
I know you got involved with what I'm doing with the silver a few months ago
Yep.
because you know, What's your gut take on precious metals right now?
Oh, snag it up. There was something, and I can't remember where I saw it, but a massive amount more silver was bought in 2021 than all of 2020. So, I mean, like quadruple
Right.
in just the last month and a half. So
Well,
there's people are definitely buying it up because there's a run on it, and just because it's physical, it's tangible. It's I think things are going to be backed by that value is going to be linked to the precious metal. Hmm.
from what I understand, they're going to be using the silver in a lot of the new technologies that are coming out.
Mm.
And the demand for the silver for the technologies is going to be more than double what we can mine in a year.
Oh well, yeah. So then the values, and it's been so suppressed for so long,
Yeah.
um, that that's part two is where it should be, and where it is two different things. Hmm.
So if we go back to the restored republic, they're saying silver will pretty much overnight go to 3,000 an ounce.
Yeah, and there's absolutely, and that's on the low end for sure. I mean, it's where it's supposed to be is three times, four times that. I mean,
Really?
where it's been held down. Hmm.
See, and I think silver is the best way to go if you're going to make an investment for the most return. I don't
Yep.
think it's going to be gold because gold, think about how long it's got to go to double.
Oh, right.
Bitcoin, think about how long it's got to go to double.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Silver is fixing to go to the moon.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Return on investment, and that's what you've got to look at. Is if you're buying it at I don't know what it is, $27 an ounce right now,
Yeah.
and it jumps up to 3,000. That's a great return on your investment.
Right. Right. Just
For
like the
sure.
people who got in at Bitcoin,
Yep.
when it was $1,000 or less,
Yep.
they got a wonderful return on investment.
Oh, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. And there are coins, so don't feel that you're out, but there are coins out there, like I said, that are still 5 cents, 10 cents, 25 cents.
Well, go
20.
through your pocket change. I've been just
Mhm.
since I've been stuck home for Covfefe, right? And
But
I had a
yeah.
ton of change, and everybody's like, "Oh, hold on to your change." Well, maybe I've got something in here, right? So it just started with let me pick out the wheat pennies,
Mhm.
okay, and it has devolved into every night I'm looking through. Go ahead, but I'm getting better at this. But the other night I had this coin and I had it in my hand and it felt funny, and I said, "Oh, this coin's messed up." And I looked at it. It appears to be a mint error. I have somebody that's going to be looking at it and checking it out.
Mhm.
It if it is what I think it is, it's going to be nice. It's going to be
Nice.
quite
Yeah.
the rate of return.
Do you know how many are just been thrown in? It's mind-blowing like that are
Right. Well, as
actually
I'm getting
worth
into
something.
the coin collecting and looking, because you have to watch a lot of videos and you have to really educate yourself on all the different errors. But just even going through and pulling your quarters and nickels and dimes that are silver out,
Mm.
anything before 1965, pull that. Those are silver coins. You've got them. And then the pennies, they're saying copper's fixing to go crazy.
Mm.
So
And I almost wonder when they were saying there was a coin shortage,
yeah,
if there was a if they were trying to snag all that back.
well, it could be people
I don't
going
know.
through it.
There's so much theories behind it, but I have
Okay.
a lot that I've got in baggies.
Um, what do you see? The hard hitting stuff. Okay. The Great Reset, NESERA. Are
Mm.
you seeing things that indicate things are fixing to radically change?
So again, being in the industry, there's a lot of interesting things happening.
There's a lot of things
Um,
you can't say, right?
right.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but I would say overall, there's movement, there's change, there's new decisions and it's happening across the board. It's not just with one investment or one bank.
Okay.
So it's like a lot of banks are getting prepared for crypto, or they've created their own coin. Um,
Wow.
oh yeah, no, I mean, PayPal has their coin. Facebook is trying to get a coin. They've kind of been held down on that, but Bank of America backs it up. JP Morgan backs it up. I mean, so they're all jumping on that bandwagon,
Hmm.
which is kind of part of that great reset. That's part one, but there's I've been involved in enough people where there has been some forgiveness of stuff that just happened. So there is some random stuff. I wouldn't say there was beta testing going on, but there's a lot of unanswered, unexplainable stuff happening.
So you are seeing debt being forgiven.
And I have talked to a couple people. Yes. Hmm. But I would say it's not. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
Hmm.
It's just random.
So like one person would just have one account. Boom.
Like the student
Not
loan all of a sudden is gone, or which a credit card that should have been on there is gone. So it's not like all of it. So it might be just randomly something selected. So again,
but
um,
gone.
gone. Hmm.
Now, what's it showing on the credit report?
Nothing. Zero.
Like it never even existed.
Well, it's there, but it's a zero balance. So it's been wiped out. So it's been zeroed out.
Wow, that's
Hmm. So those are a handful, not anything overwhelming. I would say 1%, but
well. Let me ask you this: before 2018, okay,
mhm,
had you ever seen that before?
no, no, no. I wouldn't hear conversation or people saying that that's happening, or that.
If anything, you would hear conversation the other way.
Oh yeah, there's more errors that are not in
Yeah,
favor of people
yeah.
on credit reports. 85% of credit reports have errors on them. Yes, hence where
Okay.
your guy comes in. Yes.
Right, right.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, so you're seeing things.
Hmm.
You're seeing things across the board.
Hmm.
You're seeing a little debt forgiveness going on here and there, here and there. How amped up is it right now? Like, is it kind of just a little bit, like a little puff, a little puff, a little puff, or is it a punch and a punch and a punch?
Oh, right now in the financial market, oh, it's a punch. It's There's a lot of anxiety right now because there's a lot of uncertainty as far as what's going on, as far as there's so many changes coming, and it's every day is like you're waking up to something different. And again, from the certainty of people, I mean, it's people are still buying houses, everything's great, but what's happening is more the the change. I mean, like how we do business. Okay, no longer they're coming out with a new way how we do all of our lending, or they're trying to do more automated stuff. So they're trying to get rid of the people interact. I mean, so things are, and it's happening like almost like daily. It's like this change and
All
this
right.
change and this person's gone.
So what you're telling me is they're infusing the financial industry with AI.
Oh yes, yeah. I mean, yeah. They're trying. That's the big push is to eliminate humans in that.
Isn't that special?
Hmm. Yes.
Well,
Hmm.
humans are where most of the fraud comes from. However, humans need jobs.
Yes.
So that's kind of a double-edged sword there.
Hmm. Yeah, it's definitely interesting right now. So that's what I'm saying is every day is a new like, oh, and then there's that. So
So what I'm going to do, give me 1 second,
mhm,
and I'm going to run over and go check Facebook and then go pull up YouTube and see if anybody we've got at least 2 listeners right now, and I'm going to see if anybody has any questions real quick.
perfect.
But then it's going to give me that instant sound check as soon as I hit refresh, and And I'm slow on the trigger finger, so y'all give me just 1 second. I wish I could figure out how to get the comments to show up on the stream. However, that just doesn't seem to want to do for me. I need a 20-year-old.
I know I'm savvy enough to be on screen here. No, it's
Okay.
a lot of good
Yeah.
stuff coming.
So,
And I would say the overall there's more excitement than anxiety. It's because there's so much newness coming.
right. Okay. Well, Nancy has said basically that there aren't any cryptos backed by silver and gold, right? Cryptos are backed by nothing, correct?
Correct. There from what I understand, at this point, it's people putting money in to buy it, but it's based on dollars. So it's, again, we know what the dollar is going and happening. It's just being printed right now, but it's not backed by anything physical.
So we've got, so basically so far the comments that I'm reading, people are just not into Bitcoin. Now I know I've got some of my younger friends that I talk to that seem to be really into the Bitcoin, and that, and but yeah, the comments seem to be mostly about the Bitcoin and not
Yeah.
positive towards it.
Yeah.
And I gotta be honest
And
with you.
Bitcoin, I don't carry any of that and have never gotten in. I didn't feel right.
Yeah.
It's more the other stuff that is kind of flowing with kind of from the banking side of where I'm seeing that transitioning.
Let me ask you this:
Mm.
the Fed.
Mm-hmm.
Any news on what's going on? Have you seen the shifts this year since supposedly things changed at the Fed?
So, Federal Reserve was not owned by the government; it was an independent. So that was actually the Rothschilds owned the Federal Reserve. So it was not something that was government backed. It was actually taken over, and from what I understand, and this is just what I'm hearing, was is no longer, and it's everything's run through the Treasury.
And so I heard that the Treasury got to look at the Fed's books for the first time ever
Mm,
here recently.
interesting.
Do you think some shifts and changes may come after this?
For sure. I mean, because again, it was not a government backed. I mean, everybody thought Federal Reserve was government. It
Right.
was independently owned. Hmm.
Yeah. What a
So,
deceiving name.
being that it was, from what I understand, again, it was seized. So it wasn't even just like given over. So, I'm sure they're finding some nuggets in there too. But yes, I
Yeah.
mean, from what I'm hearing, everything is being run. The Treasury is what's running everything.
Okay. All right. So I know you're a busy woman, and
Mm.
I'm going to wrap up here shortly. Uh,
Yes.
so, best advice I can pull in, but you're not a financial advisor, but the best advice that I'm taking to heart is that home buying
Mm.
sooner than later. But even though
I
I
would
feel like I haven't been
definitely.
paid off, but from a
There's security in it. I mean, again, there's programs out there with minimal down, rates are low. Most of my clients, first time home buyers, are getting into homes less than rent. Rent has skyrocketed.
oh my
So you
God,
can
yeah.
actually own a home for minimal money down for less than you can rent. I mean,
So are there places if somebody is looking into getting a home and maybe their credit's not great and maybe they don't have a lot of money, where would
so
you suggest to them to start?
okay, so first, credit score is going to help move the process faster. So that's where having your friend help. And I do advise, people all the time to have somebody help them, because sometimes it is overwhelming. You can do it on your own, but there's a lot of work to it and
Yeah.
a lot of knowledge. If you have minimal credit and it's still within the mid sixes, there are programs that are 100%. If you're more in a rural area, there are programs out there. If
Yeah,
you're a vet, there's 100% financing. Um, as little as 3% down, if you're none of those. I mean, so again, you don't have to have 20, 30,000 to get in a home.
just
So,
3% can get you in a home.
yeah.
That's as much as some people are charging for deposits.
Oh, I know. I
They
know.
want first, last,
Mhm.
and pet, and it's insane how much people want to rent.
Yep.
And
I mean, so you can get in with 3%. There are programs out there. So, and again, if you're more in a rural area, 15,000 or less, it's 100% financing if you qualify. So, I mean, there are still great programs out there.
yeah,
Definitely.
right
Yeah.
on,
Mhm.
right on. Well, I hope we help some people today
Yeah.
just to be settled in their heart and know what's coming up, and maybe where to do their research to
Mhm.
make their decisions for their future.
Oh, absolutely. And there's so many good things. And so, I mean, Kimberly, I mean, you've been such a mentor to me and really just, you fill me up. And some of the techniques that you teach me and give me, and you gave me the most amazing nugget the other day. It was just amazing. I mean, I want to just like scream at the top of my voice because it was the most powerful thing I've ever experienced, and it was so much fun.
God, so what happened? What happened?
Oh, well, can I go into it?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
You
So,
take your time. I'm here.
okay, so on Sunday, well, Saturday, I think you and I had a call, and you had talked about racing timelines and negative timelines, and so I mean, it was like it was the most it was like an eye opener. I was like, oh my goodness, I can do this with this and this and this. So I had an experience today where it was not going to, could not, it possibly potentially could not end well. And so I'm sitting in that experience as it's playing out. And I went through the technique
Yeah.
literally within 2 minutes. And when that person came back, it was all erased. So it was that quick and it was that powerful. And I've used it in 3 other areas and I've seen results in it. So that's something is so powerful. And if you've got the demand or clientele, I mean, I think
Well,
they
I
would
thought
benefit.
when I told you about it, I told you I've been thinking about teaching it, but I've been on the fence about teaching it.
Mm.
It's an extremely powerful technique,
Oh,
and it's one I learned from someone who was in the SSP. We'll just leave it at
mhm,
that for now. And it was my life was in danger,
mm,
and he sat there in a chair with his eyes closed for a little bit, and then when he was done, the energy had completely shifted.
mhm,
And several of my psychic friends even called me that night and said, "What happened?" Because I don't feel the threat anymore.
mhm,
And there was a suspected imminent threat, and it completely neutralized it. So
mhm,
and I'm like, "What the hell did you do? You just sat there. What did
mhm.
you do?" So he sat down and he showed me and told me, and we visualized this technique. But yeah, it works
It's
really, really
powerful.
well
Mhm,
to, because we talk about all the time about creating the timeline, creating,
mhm,
manifesting the timeline. But there's another part of that. And Esther Hicks used to talk about it. You get rid of what you don't want
yep,
so you
mhm,
can get to what you want.
mhm,
And so this is the technique for literally canceling out timelines that you don't want.
mhm. And it's ones that haven't happened and ones that are about to happen and ones that have happened. So I've
Right.
used past, present, and future. So
Yeah.
I've done all three, and all three have played out. And it's quick, it's fast, and it's simple. And I could feel the shift instantly. I'm very in tune. I'm very empathic, so I can feel the energies. But it was actually fun. I was chuckling afterwards because I'm like, that was good.
All right. So here's the deal, y'all. If you think you might want to take this class, because I really don't even know. I mean, I'm on the fence about teaching it. Okay. But if you think you'd be interested in taking this class, y'all know my email, ozarkcbd@gmail.com. Just send me a little message and let me know you'd be interested in taking the class. And I want to make it affordable. I think this is a technique that, here's my thing with teaching it, okay? This shit's so powerful, I'm not sure I want to share it.
Mm. It's extremely powerful. It's priceless. I can't put a dollar.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
done a lot of stuff. I've been through a lot of classes. I've done some really powerful stuff, and this is
Mhm.
mind blowing.
Well, it's that lightning fast thing
Oh, and
that you
that's
were
my
talking
energy
about.
moves fast.
Yeah.
I don't sit
Yeah.
and think about it for 2 months.
Yeah.
I want to move it fast, and it's that fast. You can move it that fast.
Yes. Yes.
Hmm.
And so part of me not putting it out there to teach it is I'm not sure it should be shared with everybody. But just so y'all know, those who are listening, just know you do have the power. You still have to, even though you're manifesting your reality and saying, I want this and I want that, and this is what I see and this is what I feel, and I am remembering my future, and I am so much better in my future than I am now. And that's a straight up steal from Kim Clement. Okay, who
Hmm.
told us to do that. But
Hmm.
we can manifest that future, but in that we still have to knock off, there's that whole consent withdrawn,
Hmm.
but this takes consent withdrawn to a whole new level.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're interested, just send me an email and we'll take it from there.
Mm.
I don't think I want to leave it to where it's just anybody can take this
I
class. I know
wouldn't
that
say
that's kind of,
it needs to be put in the right hands, because
yeah,
it is dynamic, but it's also comes with great responsibility.
exactly. Exactly.
Hmm.
I'm sitting here just throwing out some of these master level teachings, just sprinkling them out and not taking people through the normal process of let's start with the first classes, and then after you've
Hmm.
taken some of these classes then you can advance to these, and
Right.
then because we're not there anymore.
No, no, it's so, and it goes back to the young generation.
Yeah.
They already have it, and they just need one more piece to it because they've already figured it out. I mean,
Yes, they're so connected.
mm, it's,
They're so connected.
hmm,
They are it's so beautiful.
hmm,
Okay. All right. I
hmm.
know you're a busy woman, and so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, and I want to thank you.
Thank you.
And I want to drop a line in there and say maybe in about 6 weeks we can talk again,
Perfect. I
because
love that.
I'm
Thank
feeling
you.
that that'll be a
Mm,
great time to come back and update on what's going on.
yes. The speed this is going, we might be talking in 2 weeks. I don't know.
Right.
Every day is definitely dynamic, so it's the energies I'm picking up. It's good. It's good. It's just keep going, because good things are coming.
Hmm. That's what I
Hmm.
feel. I just
Hmm.
One of the things I keep getting is don't stop moving.
No, and I get, and that might have been, I was texting you earlier, uneasiness because I was stagnant, and that's where I'm like, okay, we keep moving, keep going,
Oh, I
and
did
it.
check right before we went on because you had said that you're hearing from a lot of people today that
Mm,
everybody feels kind of stuck and kind of
yes.
the Schumann is there's a way to read the Schumann. It's not only can you see the good energies coming in and the 5G coming in, but there's also a lower band of negative energy.
Mm.
And so and it can either be one or the other. Either one's going to be present or the other's going to be present. It, there's never an absence or a true presence of both amplified.
Okay, so one's stronger than the other.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Okay.
So there's always one dominant. And when the light is really, really dominant, the dark is completely gone.
Mm.
Okay. But the dark has been kind of turned up the last day or day and a half.
Oh, I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think some of that may have to do what we're going to find out came out on the other side of Texas.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's definitely, and I've had so many people reaching out to me on it, and so I'm just, and I think to unstuck that or the energy is to get outside of yourself, get out
right.
of that, don't take it on, and then keep moving.
Keep moving.
Yep, and it just seems to process.
Just keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like we're in that old movie, The Blob, and the slow people are going to get taken into the blob. Just keep moving.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep
I've been a
moving.
crazy person over the last couple of days. It's like, gotta keep moving. I mean, if you could
Yes.
see me at my house, I'm like pacing almost.
Well,
'Cause-
right now it would be so easy to just get in bed and not get up for a while. Just have
oh,
some 10-hour sleep days back to back to back. If you don't have to be anywhere.
yeah. Oh, and
Yeah.
that's kind of what's happened. And so I think that that amplifies the energy too, is because people aren't as active. They're not getting out. They're not moving in a physical sense as far
Well,
as getting in your car, going here. So their energies are getting stuck in the house and stagnant. And
that's
I,
what I'm saying. It's like the
mhm,
blob. If you slow down
yeah.
too much, it's going to get you.
Hmm.
Keep moving. Get out, take a walk, get sunshine.
Yes. Yes.
Hmm.
Here in the Midwest, it was amazing. It was 70 degrees. Last week we were -10. How's it happen?
Next week is supposed to be some intense storms.
Yeah. Oh no, we have snowstorms coming again, but we were 70 degrees today.
Yeah.
It's
Well, back and forth. That's the
yeah,
quickest way to get rid of people, depopulate.
yeah. We're having 100-degree swings. I mean, it's
Yeah.
pretty,
Yeah.
pretty
It's
interesting.
real.
Yeah.
It's real.
Hmm. And
Our
it's not just one area, it's every area. So everybody's
It's not real.
experiencing.
I want to pull that back. It's not real. It's
Mhm.
not. I don't believe anything that I'm experiencing right now is real. I think it's all manufactured and a show, and we're watching the hologram come down.
Mm.
But that's just me. We'll see. I don't believe any of this is real.
Mm. Lots of that's the fun part. And I'm not gonna say the fun part, but it's like things are being revealed, and that's what I feel, and that's what we're seeing every day when I say things are moving and being it's being revealed. It's like there's this that's coming up and this coming up and this news, and it's like every day is something being
What about
uncovered.
people stepping down in the banking world? Are you
Oh, people are stepping down, people are being fired. There was major players in a couple major banks that were let go today. Hmm, I don't know, but
But we're not talking about little teller jobs.
no,
Yeah.
these are high ranking, one step down from the top one, two, three banks in the country. These aren't these,
Really?
yeah.
All right. So with the big shift like that today, the news tomorrow should be pretty interesting.
Well, and some of the stuff that's happening, like I was, so the massive shifts in the stock market that
Yeah.
happened today, there was no news of it.
Oh,
Why?
what do you think about the stock market?
It's all being manipulated right now too. I mean, it's everything's manipulated. When I say that, it's like everything's trending the same. So when the crypto was going crazy, stocks were, I mean, like across the board, everything was red.
Mhm.
You could pull up, uh, nothing was going up. Everything was, and it was a massive loss. And then it was moving the other direction. But it was between stocks. It was what I was
Yeah.
seeing. Anything I was pulling up, it was just everything was moving at the same rate.
But precious metals,
But precious metals was, yeah,
they
that
were they
didn't
were isolated out of it.
that didn't didn't play into any of it.
Do you are you personally putting a lot of are you throwing a lot of your weight into the stock market, or are you not throwing your weight there?
I have stocks. I'm obviously all of the stuff that happened with Robinhood and GameStop and everything else. That was a great way to show the world
Yes. How
how,
manipulated. Yeah.
yes, yes. And then when it's in favor for us, conveniently they shut it down.
Right.
So again, we are not in control of it. So I tread lightly. For me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I don't see any point in stocks, to be honest with
yeah.
you. With me, I've always been, I want to hold it in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want a coin, I want some gold jewelry, I want, I'm gonna spend my money that way.
Mm-hmm.
And because that will appreciate and I don't have to worry about it going through any banker,
Right.
any fees,
Mm-hmm.
any of that. You just gotta hold on to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, for sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
you just
It's
gotta hold on.
tangible. And
Yeah.
that's part of the reset in the Sarah Sarah. It's going back to something real. It's tangible. It's real. It's there's value in it. Um,
Yes.
it's backed by, and that's why they say gold standard. It's backed by something. So that's
Well,
again,
it's not just putting value in the money with NESERA, it's putting value back into people.
yes.
It's taking the value away from the bank
Hmm.
and putting the value back into people.
Well, people, we're back. We have a voice again,
Yeah.
and we have,
We're
um,
not debt slaves
yes.
with all these illegal bank loans.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, let me ask you this. Did you notice last year that a lot of the forms changed, like across the board? Did they do a lot of changing of things with the new bank loans with the interest rate?
Um, I know actually rolling out March 1st is a new form that we have to use
And how often would they do that?
every 2 to 3 to 4 years.
And when's the last time they've done it?
It's been,
So it's timely.
eh, they just choose to do, this one's a big shift. This
Okay.
one's totally different than, this is something different that it's a big deal. It's a big difference on our form and how
So
what we
people
have to do.
buying houses in March are
They won't feel
going
it. We're going to feel it on the lending side of the amount of information, but the form, the type, everything
to,
as of March 1st is rolling out.
well, that'll be interesting and fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yay, your job is ever changing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Every day is a new day.
Friend of mine, I used to work for an attorney that it was all crazy every day, and one of the lawyers described the job as this is the job description, and it fit perfectly. Whatever I was doing yesterday surely will not be what I'm doing tomorrow.
Mm-mm. That's why I love this industry, is because no two things are the same. It
No,
is always, I mean, and there's creative thinking because it's like you have to constantly, I call myself a chameleon because I'm bending and molding and adapting. I mean, it's like you have to, if you are not comfortable with change, you're in the wrong industry because it is constantly like new
well,
rules. And the rules, I mean, that every day is a new rule. Oh, that no longer worked. This is a new rule. So,
I studied once to make the to be the person that process loan processor.
mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, when I saw how corrupt and dirty the loan industry is, and I'm not calling you corrupt or dirty. I'm just
Mm-mm.
saying the process. Okay, I just knew in my heart of hearts that even though I'd be helping people get homes, I just couldn't do this because I'm the type of person that would get at something and start picking at it and start making a scene about it and talking about it, and then they say, "No, y'all can't. You can't work in our industry anymore. You've got to go."
It's cleaned up a lot because the reason I got into the industry is because it was in '04 and I was a single mom and I was taken advantage of and I became an advocate.
Yeah.
That is why I got in the industry. So I am that person that if somebody comes to me, it's not good for them, I will be the first one to say, this is not good for you.
Yeah.
Or if they're trying to refinance, I'm like, I can't do this. This is not ethically correct.
Right.
This
And
doesn't benefit you.
most people don't have those kind of ethics.
No, no. They've
Oh, if they can make $1, they're making their dollar.
Oh, especially, yeah. I mean, and they've put some better laws in place as of recent. I mean, but there's still some of the things I see. It makes me want to. And the worst ones that they go after are vets. Hmm.
Really.
Hmm. Yeah. So I am a big advocate. I work with a lot of Air Force bases and naval bases and Army bases because I just I want to make sure that they have a good, safe place to come.
Thank you for
Hmm.
that work.
Yeah, that they're near and dear to me.
And thank you for all that you do, by the way. You're pretty
Mm,
badass.
mm. I have fun. I enjoy it. I'm passionate because,
Yeah.
again, I've experienced the other side of it,
Yeah.
especially a single mom that didn't have two coins to rub together,
Right.
3 babies, 2, 3, and 4 year old,
Mhm.
and being taken advantage. And my house payment inflates $500. At that time, I didn't have it,
Yeah.
so I experienced the worst of the worst, and the worst part, it was a woman who did this to me. I mean, so that shows you. And again, I mean, it doesn't matter when there's dollar signs, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
people are greedy, and so that is again, um, and that's where I always tell people if it doesn't feel right, everybody has an intuition.
Yeah.
Lean into that.
Yeah.
Get a second opinion. Yeah.
Well, like I said, I know that your time is valuable. Okay. And I've almost
Mhm.
wrapped this up and almost that we're going to wrap it up now.
Okay.
I
Well,
love
thank
you.
you. Love
Thank
you
you.
too. Mm,
You have a great night.
you too. Always a pleasure.
And thank everybody for joining us. And
Thank you.
okay, y'all go forward, do good, love one another, and have faith that everything is going to be amazing. Peace
Hmm.
out, y'all.
Good night.